I finished the last video talking about how my fucking asshole brother asked the doctor how long my mom has left. He's such a dick, seriously. You know, my mom was in denial about the cancer. We would go to doctor's offices and, you know, for different things. And my mom would have to explain it, and she always left the cancer out. I would always have to be the one to tell the doctor she has cancer. You know, at this point in time, I was seeing a therapist. I remember I sat down with him one day, and he looked it up on the computer. I told him what was going on. Her cancer had spread to the lymph nodes, and it was here and there. And he's like, you know, your mom's in like at least stage 3. It was before her last hospital stay. So at that point in time, I kind of knew she was like in stage 3, and, you know, it's like stage 4 is like the worst, you know, so I know things are going downhill. But I didn't want to know when she was going to die. I just want to enjoy the time that I have left with her. I just wanted to take in every minute that I could with her. Okay, so now it's like after September, and we're going into October almost, you know. My mom's pain just kept getting worse and worse and worse. They gave her the fentanyl patch, okay? So now she's on, I think it was like, I don't remember the milligrams. I think it was 5 milligrams, but it was like a lower dose fentanyl patch, but it's a fentanyl patch, okay? Fentanyl is a very strong painkiller, narcotic painkiller. And then on top of that, she's taking pills. I keep telling my mom, go to the doctor. You have to go to the doctor. You have to find out what it is, Mom. Maybe you should go to this doctor. Maybe you should go to that doctor. She's like, it's sciatica, Leanna. There's nothing they could do about it. And I'm like, Mom, maybe they could put you on like a nerve medication. Sciatica is nerve pain, so maybe you have to be on some type of nerve medication or something like that, right? She's like just ignoring it. She starts taking these fentanyl patches. I put the first one on her. It's not even helping her. It's not even helping the pain. And I'm like, this is pretty bad. So I get in touch with my girlfriend who's a nurse, 2 of my girlfriends that are nurses, and I'm like, you know, what's the deal? And my one friend tells me that she's like, actually fentanyl patches aren't like meant to give immediate pain relief. They're kind of used to like, what the fuck word did she use? I forget. They don't work immediately. You have to kind of build it up in your system, and so give it a couple of days. So I'm like, all right. In the meantime, the guilt trip came. And you guys are probably like, what the fuck are you talking about, Leanna? Well, I'll tell you. All of a sudden one day, my mom calls me up, and she's like, oh, Aunt Debbie called me, and so she wants to take me to this hotel up in Woodstock, New York. In my head, I'm like, what? She just got out of the hospital for a month, okay? And we know that she needs blood transfusions now. She's still having breathing problems. Every time her red blood cells or whatever get low, we know that she needs a blood transfusion. And at any given time right now, she can end up in the hospital again. She could barely walk at this point in time. I mean, she's walking with a cane. She could barely fucking get from like point A to point B. And here comes Aunt Debbie, fucking idiot. Let me take her to Woodstock, New York. And I'm like, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna take her on this fucking trip. God forbid her red blood cells drop and she gets extremely anemic and she needs a blood transfusion. She's gonna end up in a hospital in Woodstock, New York. And guess who's gonna have to go to Woodstock, New York and watch my mom? This girl right here. My son had just started preschool that year, okay? So he's in his first year of preschool. And I'm just thinking in my head, how the fuck am I gonna do this? Like, I'm gonna have to, what, go stay in a hotel 5 hours, 6 hours away? My mom was like kind of looking forward to it. She kind of was excited. She was in the hospital for a month, and then now she's trapped in the house. She can't really drive. She can't go out and do things for herself. Like, I didn't say anything to her, but I was really fucking annoyed about it. And of course, I'm not talking to these assholes, so I'm not going to call her up and be like, you fucking idiot, why are you doing this? Are you going to go to Woodstock, New York if she ends up in the hospital? No, you're not. You're going to be like, oh, I got to feed my dog. I have to take my garbage out. Like, in my head, I'm like, bad idea. What a bad idea. Oh, really? Yeah, that's a bad idea. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, bad idea. Oh my God, this is not going to go good. Nothing was going good at this point in time, so why the fuck would I think that this trip was going to be any different, you know? I remember I had to pack her bags for her because she couldn't even do it herself. She was in so much pain. I just want to explain to you guys this pain, okay? She could barely walk. She couldn't lay down. I'm getting text messages from her at like 2 o'clock in the morning, which usually at this point in time, she's sleeping by then. And now she's texting me at like 12 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Sometimes I would text her at night because I'm like on Google all the time, like, what could this pain be being caused by? Could it be arthritis? Could it be this? Could it be that? Whatever. So sometimes at night I would send her things thinking that she'll see him the next morning when she gets up for work, because she was still fucking working. At no point did my mom say, hey, maybe I should just take advantage of disability here because I have cancer and my kidney's failing and I can barely walk. No, she still worked. The only place she was comfortable was sitting up in a chair like this. I don't know why and I don't know how, but somehow she was able to sit in her chair and work for fucking 8 hours. But like, I would text her. She used to never answer me. Now all of a sudden at midnight, she's answering texts and she's like, I can't sleep. I'm in so much pain. So I'm packing her bags and I'm just like, oh my God, this is like the worst idea. I guess I'm not sleeping for the next couple of days. I'm not talking to my Aunt Debbie, so I can't even call her up and be like, hey, make sure this, that, and the other thing. I hadn't talked to her at this point in time. It was like May, June, July, August, September. 5 months I hadn't talked to them. So I'm like, whatever. My mom's going to go away with her, and I just got to pray. Dear God, please don't make me have to go stay at Woodstock, New York. Please. My mom, like, I don't know where her brain was at this time. Well, I know it was. She was in fentanyl opioid land, and she wasn't thinking clearly. She's in so much pain in the car when we go to these appointments and everything. Why does she think she's going to be able to sit in the car comfortably for fucking 6 hours? Like, I just couldn't wrap my mind around either one of them. It's fucking Tweedledee and Tweedledummer. I can't handle it. I didn't want to argue with her. I expressed my worry and concern, but I didn't want to argue with her. She was like kind of looking forward to just getting out of the house and going to see things, and that's what she said to me. She's like, Leanna, I've been trapped in this house, in the hospitals, and I'm like, you know what, Mom, you're right. You deserve it. You deserve to feel like a fucking person again. People don't understand this. When you are this ill, your life just becomes being a patient. Like, you're not a person anymore. You're a patient. You're a list of symptoms. Even just with me and my mom talking, for that whole year, we didn't have the conversations we used to have. I never really talked to her about my life or anything that was going on in my life because I didn't want to, like, complain. How the fuck could I complain about my life? When look what you're going through. Anything I was going through at that point in time was pretty much irrelevant, in comparison to what she was going through. Our conversations just, they revolved around cancer and symptoms and medication and where do I have to pick the prescriptions up and going to the doctor's office, and my whole life revolved around it, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, that's what happens. And I'm like, you know what? You deserve to go somewhere and feel like a person for just a day at least, Go look at beautiful scenery. And I just had to kind of let go of my fears and my worries and all that shit and just let her go. She's a grown woman. And at that point, too, my aunts haven't been around now. Like, they didn't come out and see my mom. They didn't hang out with her. Since she got out of the hospital, nobody's been around. Nobody came over. Nobody, nothing, really. Even my brother. He wasn't around. He didn't come around. He might have came and visited once, twice, maybe at the most. I don't know.
I forgot to add here, that was the whole reason I called it the guilt trip.
Okay, so
because
that was the trip.
My aunt didn't come around, and that's why I called this the guilt trip, because I felt like she took my mom on this trip because she felt guilty that she didn't come around.
There was another thing that happened during this time that I feel bad about. I do. I was so, like, again, I feel like I keep saying this in every video because I'm not, it's like, dude, I was just so, like, the stress I went through and the worry and the anxiety, the fighting and my brother, what he did and going through the safe, I was so fucking stressed out, dude. I was not in my normal mind state, dude. I wasn't. I was an emotional fucking wreck. I was angry, angry that my mom has cancer, angry that my brother's not helping, angry that my family is being such assholes. Just the fucking anger I felt, I don't even think I could explain it. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? It's like every time in my life, and I don't want to be like, oh, woe is me, poor me, Leanna, but it just felt like every time my life started to, like, get a little better, It's like I got knocked down 10 pegs and something bad would happen. And you know what? That's just life. Now I look back and I'm like, what hasn't killed me has made me really fucking strong. I'm one strong bitch. I am. And I feel comfortable saying that because I'm a fucking tough bitch. I don't feel conceited. I don't think I'm the shit. But I'll tell you right now, I could get through anything. This is armor, bro. I am steel. I could get through anything in life because I got through this. I'm here telling you guys a story. I made it. Anyway, I was in a bad place. Mentally, emotionally, just, it was bad. I think you guys get the point. My mom had to close her pool that year, okay? And again, me and my husband over the last 3 years, we were always the ones over there doing everything. Everything that she needed done. We had to fix windows, and I had to catch a dead mouse, which is like, I never touched a dead animal. No thank you, but I had to do it one time. I had no choice. Nobody else was around to do it, so I had to do it. She got mice. That was another thing that was like, oh my God, this poor woman. How much more could happen? Mom's deathly afraid of mice. Right before she got sick, she somehow got mice in her house. And that was like a nightmare in and of itself because she was petrified to be home. Ugh, it was so much. This poor woman, what she went through. So it came time to close her pool. I told my mom, please ask Steven, my brother. She's like, all right. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, they didn't want to give up their weekends. They went on, like, I think 2 or 3 vacations, like, out of the country vacations while my mom was sick. I felt like I couldn't even go to Manhattan that day because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be that far away from her. But at the same time, my mom relied on me. My brother relied on me too because he knew that if he didn't do things, Liana's always going to be here to do them. So in a weird way, he was kind of dependent on me too. In that whole 2 years that my mom and him weren't talking, like, they were talking, but they were like, it was just so strained, and like most of the time it was fighting. It always ended up in a fight. He never came over to her house. He came over 2 times that I remember by himself, okay? But even with her, he didn't come over. But he never came over there by himself. In fact, we don't think he was allowed to come over. He didn't even have a key to my mom's house for a whole entire year, and he didn't even know it. She broke the key off in her lock since he had the old house key and he never came over. My mom just never gave him a new key. Then there was times he would come over and do things, like the time they opened her fucking pool. Oh my God, I didn't even tell you guys this story. The year they got married, they went to go, my mom asked my brother if he could open the pool, right? They come over one day while she's at work and they open the pool. Now, my mom, at the time, the pool cover had, like, all, like, leaves and, like, debris in it, So my mom made it a point to tell my brother, do not drop the pool cover in the pool. They make the, like, day that they're going to come over when she's not even home. Like, why would you do that, It was, like, after work one day, and they open the pool. They leave. My mom calls me up the next day. She's like, Liana, my pool is, like, fucking black. Like, so black that you can't even see like an inch in the water. We've had the pool our whole life. We've opened it up, and every year it's a little different. Some years you could open it and it's clear. Some years it's like a little green, like my fish tank back there because I have to fucking scrape the algae off. Never in my entire life did we see the pool the way it was. It was black. It was like fucking black, like mud. So my mom's like, for 3 weeks trying to get this pool cleared up, and nothing's helping it. This pool was so much stress to her, I swear to God. And it became stress to me, too. She can't figure out what's wrong with the pool. And my mom, I hate to say this, oh my God, Ma, God rest your soul. She used to really try to, like, avoid having to pay some people to do things. We were trying to help her. My husband's trying to help her. We're all trying to figure this out. For 3 weeks, right, into the summer, we can't figure out what the fuck is going on with this pool. Her neighbor was also trying to help because he used to work on pools, and he couldn't even figure it out. So finally, she gives in and she calls somebody, right? It ends up that her line got clogged, and that's why the pool wasn't getting clear because there was so much shit in there. So she has to pay now, I think it was like $300 to get this line changed and this whole thing fixed, right? First she asked my brother, did you guys drop the cover in the pool? And he was swearing up and down that they didn't drop the cover in the pool. So we were like, where'd all this garbage, how did all this shit get in the pool? It just didn't even make any sense. All of a sudden she calls me up one day. And she's like, you're not going to fucking believe this, Liana. I'm like, what? She's like, well, the pool finally started to clear up a little. We're like a month into the summer now. We didn't even get to go in the pool yet. She's like, dude, there was a fucking huge flower pot at the bottom of my pool. I'm like, are you how the, what? She's like, Liana, listen, I don't want to accuse anybody, but how the fuck did that thing get in the bottom of my pool? And I'm like, I don't know, Mom. How did that get in the bottom of your pool? I go over there. Dude, this was probably like a 15-inch pot, right? That was about 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall, filled with rocks and dirt. That thing did not accidentally blow into the pool, okay? There's no way. The wind would never be able to pick this thing up. This thing was not moving. The only way it could have gotten in the pool is because someone dropped it in there. Well, who opened the pool that year? My brother and Satan. So we think that when my brother had his back turned, she walked over and dropped the pot in the pool to fucking sabotage my mom. So, of course, now my mom doesn't trust them opening the pool. She asked my brother. He denied it. He's like, I don't know how it got in there. He probably didn't know. She probably did it when he wasn't looking. There's just no other explanation for how this fucking flower pot got in the pool. And that's why the pool was so dirty, because there was fucking dirt literally in the pool. Do you guys see, like, all these things? That's why, with this girl, it was very hard for me. Anyway, so now comes up, this is now current time, and my mom wants to close, you know, she's going through the whole thing with the pool again, and I'm like, Mom, please, like, I had not gotten shit done around my own house. My garden was overgrown. I didn't even, like, take care of anything at my own house. I wasn't home, ever. There was something me and my husband had to do that weekend. I forgot what it was, but we were like, we need to get this done. Like, we have to. We've been avoiding it for the last, like, fucking 2 months. Please ask Steven if he could close the pool. She asked him, and my mom was being a little bit of an asshole, too. Because, again, they have plans every weekend. Every weekend they're doing something, him and Satan. They're fucking at this festival or that bar or this. They go out all the time. They're drinkers. They're big drinkers. She has plans every fucking weekend. So she asked my brother, and my brother's like, oh, you know, I can't do it this weekend. I told my mom, too, if he could do it without her, I'll come over and help. And I told her to tell him that. But my husband was, like, out at this point. He's like, you know what? Steven has to do shit. I need to get shit done at my own house. And I don't blame him. I don't blame my husband for feeling the way he did. Because he did everything for my mom that my brother should have been doing. I told her that I would help, though. I said, if she can't come and help with him, I'll come help. So she calls him back. He says, oh, she's going away with her friend this weekend. She's going out with her friends on Saturday. So my mom's like, well, then why can't you come on Sunday? He's like, oh, we'll come on Thursday during the week. And my mom was kind of being a little bit of a pain in the ass because she's like, you know, it's going to be dark out. He's not going to be able to see what he's doing, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Mom, just take the help. Let him do it on a Thursday night if that's when he wants to do it. If he wants to close the pool in the dark, that's his fucking problem. But she was being kind of a pain in the ass. She wanted him to come on a weekend. So I told him, okay, why doesn't he come over with the baby? You could watch the baby for an hour, you know, just hang out with her and keep her entertained. I'll help him close the pool. No, that wasn't happening. My mom asked if he could come over, and he was like, oh. He always had an excuse. There was one time when he was on his way home from work, right? He had to go pick the baby up so she could go out drinking with her friends. And he goes and picks the baby up. So my mom's like, oh, why don't you stop by with the baby? So he's like, okay. Like a half hour goes by. My mom's like, where the fuck is he? He never showed up. Well, it ended up that he fucking went home because she called him and was like, oh, you have to go pick up her daughter. She has an older daughter. So my mom's like, okay, then I'll come over there. And he's like, she doesn't want anybody over here. There was always an excuse. He could not hang out with my mom by himself. No different. He can't come over by himself. I'm like, Mom, I mean, not for nothing. He can't do it on Saturday. They had plans. And then Sunday, she's going out with her friend. He's by himself. Why can't he come over and I'll help him do it on Sunday? But at the same time, I felt for my mom, like, beggars can't be choosers. If he wants to come on a Thursday night and that's when he's available, just take it. Why do me and my husband have to do it again? I was being an asshole about this. I made it very clear to my mom. I'm like, Mom, it's not about you. Me and my husband will do anything to help you. We always do. But he needs to fucking pitch in. Just this one thing. I'm sorry. He needs to do something. I think it ended up, he had excuses for 2 weeks. So her pool didn't end up getting closed until like beginning of October. You know when he finally came to do the pool? It was pouring fucking rain. It was in October. This was the latest we ever closed our pool. So he finally ends up coming. He calls my mom up the morning of. It was a Sunday morning. Like when I tell you guys, it was torrential downpours that day. Oh, we'll close the pool today. Can Liana help? I know this bitch did this shit on purpose. She's like, oh, you want to do the pool? Go do it in the pouring rain. It's like our punishment. And I gotta tell you guys, that's the first time in probably 3 years and the last time in the last 5 years that I actually felt for an hour that I was hanging out with the Steven I grew up with. When she was around, like, he was just not himself. Dude, my brother is the funniest motherfucker out there. Like, he is so funny. He really is. In fact, I found this old video, and if I can find it again, just give you guys a little sampling of it.
You don't even care. Take a picture of him.
I'm taking a video.
Oh my God, we're so
Sampling of it. The laughter, okay? That's how it always was before this girl came into our lives. We would hang out and we'd be like pissing our pants laughing. He was so funny. You know, I like to make people laugh. We're jokesters. We joke around, and me and him would go back and forth and, like, you know, with my mom, and, like, I don't know, we just all love to laugh. And it was like she came along and she just fucking tore the laughter out of our fucking life. She really did. She stole the fucking laughter out of my life. Because now when she was around, my brother was like this quiet robot. Like, he didn't talk. He was like a shell of the Steven that he used to be. That day, I felt like it was the first time that me and him kind of, like, had that banter, and we kind of talked about, like, things that we used to talk about, you know? Because she wasn't there. But as soon as we got the pool closed, he fucking took off. It was like, bye, gotta go. Like, he didn't even dry off and have a cup of hot cocoa or nothing with us. He was just like, bye. Zoop. Gotta go. Satan's calling. We haven't been together, like, just the three of us in years because he wasn't allowed. He wasn't allowed to hang out with us by himself. At this point in time, though, she's kissing my mom's ass because she doesn't want to get cut out of the will. So she finally got the pool closed, but it was a fucking nightmare. So now we're in October. The story from this point on, just, it's like being on a roller coaster and going straight down on the scariest roller coaster backwards with your fucking eyes closed off a 300-foot drop. Like, that's how bad things got, okay? Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one.